By the end of this scene, you'll understand why using Claude Code's plan mode can make your big feature projects a breeze. Planning up front saves time and effort later on. Imagine building something without a blueprint. It's like trying to put together a puzzle with all the pieces scattered. Let's start by setting up our environment. First, open your terminal or command prompt. We're going to create a new project folder for this demonstration. Type bash mkdir big_feature_project and cd big_feature_project. This creates a directory named big_feature_project and navigates you into it. Next, initialize a new Claude Code project by running bash CLCode init. Follow the prompts to set up your project. Once that's done, we can start using plan mode. Plan mode helps us think through our big feature before diving into implementation. It shows us what steps are needed and what dependencies might arise. To enter plan mode, simply type bash CLCode plan feature big_feature. Replace big_feature with the name of your feature. This command will guide you through a series of questions to help you outline your feature's requirements and design decisions. Now, let's talk about why this matters. Planning allows us to identify potential roadblocks early on. It ensures that everyone on the team understands the scope and goals of the project, reducing misunderstandings down the line. Plus, it gives us a clear roadmap for implementation. By the end of this video series, you'll be able to leverage Claude Code's plan mode to tackle large features with confidence. So let's get started. All right, so by the end of this scene, you'll have a fresh Claude Code project all set up in plan mode, ready to dive into your big feature. Let's get started. 1. Install Claude Code. If you haven't already installed Claude Code from the official website or through your package manager, make sure it's on your machine. curl https://install.claude-code.com/ will fetch and install the latest version. 2. Create a new project. Open up Terminal or Command Prompt if you're on Windows and create a new Claude Code project. Run code init myFeature. Replace myFeature with whatever name makes sense for your big feature. This will create a new directory named myFeature. 3. Navigate to plan mode. Once the project is initialized, navigate into it. cd myFeature. Now, launch plan mode by running code plan. 4. Create your first plan. In plan mode, you'll start with a new plan for your feature. Type in new to create a new plan document. Give it a descriptive name, like integrating real-time data feeds. You can use the arrow keys or scroll wheel to navigate through options. 5. Define your goals and requirements. In this new plan, define what you want to achieve with your feature. Write down any external requirements, APIs you might need, or third-party services involved. For example, as a developer, I want to integrate real-time data feeds from XYZ API so that we can provide live updates on our dashboard. 6. Break down the steps. Next, break down this goal into actionable steps. Maybe you'll start by setting up authentication with the API provider. Step 1. Set up OAuth 2 credentials and API keys in environment variables. 7. Add subtasks for clarity. Add subtasks to each step to make sure nothing is missed. For instance, under your first step, create a new file.env. Store the required API keys as variables. Document how to refresh tokens if needed. By now, you should have your project set up and a plan ready for your big feature. The next task is crucial. Flesh out this plan with more details and start coding. By now, you've got Claude Code set up for planning big features. Great job! In this scene, we're going to dive deeper into how you can break down your feature into smaller tasks using Claude's plan mode. This will help you stay organized and keep track of everything as you work on your project. First, let's open your Claude Code editor. You should have a big feature in mind that you want to tackle. For this example, we'll call it Enhancing User Authentication. Open the file where you're planning this feature. It might be named something like enhance_user_auth.claude. Now let's use plan mode. At the top of your file, type plain text, plan, enhance_user_auth. This command tells Claude that we're starting a new plan for our enhancement. Next, think about the big chunks of work you need to do. For user authentication, you might break it down into these tasks. 1. Password hashing. Ensure passwords are stored securely. 2. Email verification. Implement email verification for all users. 3. Login flow improvements. Enhance the login process with multi-factor authentication, MFA. Type each task as a comment in your file, like this. Python. Now, let's break these down into even smaller tasks. You can do this by adding more comments for each subtask. Python. Feel free to expand these tasks as needed. The key is to make each task specific and actionable. This way, when you start coding, you know exactly what needs to be done. By the end of this scene, your plan should look something like this. Python. Plan. Enhance_user_auth. Now that you have your plan laid out, it's much easier to start coding. You can work through these tasks one by one. By the end of this, you'll be able to assign tasks to your team members and estimate the effort required for each task, all within Claude Code's plan mode. You've broken down your big feature into smaller tasks. Now it's time to assign these tasks to your team members. In Claude Code, you can do this by clicking on the assignee drop-down next to each task. Let's say you have a task called Implement Login Functionality, and you want to assign it to John. You simply select John's name from the drop-down, and Claude Code will update the task with John's name. Next, you need to estimate the effort required for each task. This is where Claude Code's effort estimation feature comes in handy. You can estimate the effort required for each task in story points, hours, or days. For example, you can estimate that the Implement Login Functionality task will take 3 story points or 8 hours. Once you've assigned tasks and estimated the effort required, Claude Code's plan mode will visualize your project timeline and dependencies for you. You can see how each task depends on others and how the effort required for each task affects the overall project time. Next, review these tasks for any potential roadblocks or assumptions. Ask yourself, do I have all the necessary resources? Are there dependencies I need to consider? If something doesn't feel right, use Claude Code's discussion feature. Click on a task where you see an issue, then click Discuss. This will open a chat window with Claude, allowing you to ask questions and get insights directly into your plan. For example, if you're unsure about the API endpoints required for user authentication, type, Claude, what are the best practices for creating secure API endpoints? Claude will provide guidance based on its knowledge base. You can then update your plan accordingly. After addressing any concerns or questions, go back to the Plan tab and ensure everything is clear and realistic. If you find a task that's too big, split it into smaller chunks. Claude Code allows you to reorganize tasks seamlessly by dragging and dropping them around. Lastly, make sure your timeline looks achievable. Use the Schedule Gantt chart view in the Plan tab to visualize your progress. This will help you see where there might be delays or if some tasks overlap too much.